Hi, this is Ted Pattison. In this how-to screencast, we're going to talk about turning on auditing for a single document library in Windows SharePoint Services 3.0. So let's go ahead and get started. So if we go to a site, so here we are at a particular site, and if there's one particular document library and we want to audit just the activity and the user actions that go on within the context of this document library, it's fairly easy to turn on. Now let's open up the item auditing sample project. If I open up the item auditing sample project, there's a feature that activates. And when the feature activates, it has an event handler that runs a piece of code. And so currently it's set up to get a hold of the current site collection object and basically just enable auditing for the entire site collection. So let's say this is just not fine-grained enough. So what we're going to do is, let's go ahead and comment this code out and add in the code that's going to give us what we want. So down here, what we're going to do is, let's go ahead and create an SP list object. And so that's the doc library in question. And so what I can do is now, let's go ahead and type into the current site collection object. And then I'll go down and I'll say root web to get the SP web object for the top level site. And then if I say lists, and then what I can do is I can just use the default index or syntax. And so in C# it's going to be square brackets, and Visual Basic it would be parentheses. And then I can just go ahead and add in the name of the list or document library. So once I've done that and I've gotten my SP list object, well, what I can do is I can say doc lib dot, and there is a audit property, and just like before, there's audit flags. And if I wanted to, I could say SP audit mass type dot all. So basically that would turn on all types of auditing. Now remember that after you run this first piece of code, you're also going to need to go ahead and call update to record your settings into the content database. Now, when we go ahead and turn on auditing, do we want to turn on every type of auditing that's available? What I'm going to do is I'm going to do Control-Alt-J to bring up the object browser, and inside of the Microsoft SharePoint assembly, let's go look at the Microsoft SharePoint namespace, and if I go down here and I find SP Audit Mass Type, well, there's one that says basically just do all types. But if I want more fine-grained, maybe all I really care about is updates, undeletes, security changes, so I have a very specific set of things that I can do. So maybe I really just care about updating and deleting. So if I go back to my code, and I decide to just cover update, and then the way these works is that you're going to bitwise OR together these properties. So now if I basically say I just want to monitor updating and deleting, well, now I have the code to do that. So instead of just turning things on at the site collection level, you can be fine-grained. So any list or document library you can access via the SP list object and basically get to the audit settings and then have fine-grained control about what type of auditing you want to do. Going down one more level, just like SP list has an audit property, SP list item also has an audit property. So if you wanted to go down one more level and basically enable auditing for just a single list item or a single document inside of a document library, that would be possible using this exact same approach.